Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the Oklahoma City meeting of the Second Amendment Association for the State of Oklahoma. Let's stand tonight for prayer and for the Pledge of Allegiance. Lord, we come before you. We're thankful that we live in the nation that we do. We're thankful, Lord, for the wisdom of our founding fathers as they gave us the Constitution that guides our nation. We pray tonight, Lord, that our leaders will adhere to it, that they'll follow the precepts that we're founded upon. We pray, Lord, as the election is approaching, that we will vote with conviction, that we will vote people who would further the cause of this nation, and we'd be able to remove people from office who are hurting our nation. We pray, Lord, for our leaders that they'll have wisdom, guidance from you. We pray, Lord, that our nation would truly be one nation under God. In Christ I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. It is good to see everyone in the room tonight, and of course people are joining us online right now. At this time, I'd like to welcome our president of the Oklahoma Second Amendment Association, the man who works tirelessly for our constitutional rights, Mr. Don Spencer.
Man, we're here at H&H Gun Range in Oklahoma City. This is like packed like a Trump rally. For being off for a couple months, and how many of you guys thought, well, and this is my mindset, okay, we'll take July off, we'll coast, there won't be any big deal going on, and holy cow, it's just one fire out after another on things that are going on in the state. You on Facebook Live, make sure you type in what city, what town, because I know we got some out-of-staters watching tonight, at least they said they would be. So, we'll see how that works out. But anyway, type in where you're at. We're going to try to catch some questions, so don't be afraid to pop something up on there and what's going on. Like I say, how many are here for the first time? I think I see a few new faces. All right. Okay. Now, Kendall, you ready for this?
Yeah.
For those that have showed up tonight, because this is what happens when you show up in OK2A meetings, something just incredibly surprising come up. Go ahead and show them there, Kendall, what it is there. Kendall's going to show you, this is the new lapel pin we've got for OK2A, and they're very nice. The goofy thing is I love to mail them out, but with that thing on the back, it makes it real weird to mail, and it's expensive to mail. So basically, people that show up at meetings, this is going to prove I've been to an OK2A meeting, and this is why you're leaving with one of these today, all right? So you guys in the future, we got OK2A meetings. I think it's every week. Every day this week. So we're going to try to make sure you have these available. If not, you only shoot the coordinator, not the president. Pun intended. Pun intended.
That's as good as Oprah.
It's good as Oprah.
Get something free.
I was thinking more like Ellen, but okay. All right, whatever. Okay, what's going on? Let me see my list of here. Okay, maybe you guys have heard August 25th, there's an election. Yeah. Did that slip your mind? Because if you never watch TV or you stay in that cave that's in southeast Logan County in Oklahoma, you would never know that anything else is going on in the world, right? Anyway, OK2A has worked, and like I said, we took on this year also sheriff's races, which was a lot to do. And we've also taken on a few other the municipal seats. So OK2A, we endorsed for Mr. Redding for mayor of Tulsa. We also endorsed two other people for councilman, and I forgot to bring their names, but we've also endorsed them. And folks, if you can imagine how important even these local, even your school boards are, look at the communist country of Norman, Oklahoma.
Yes.
Look at that. Who wants to be in the position again where you have to recall socialists out of your city charter, practically? And my thing is, I don't even want to get in that position. I want to keep the state of Oklahoma so strong from your local community right up to the governor's office to make sure we've got the right people in there, keep the right people in there, and get the wrong people out. And that is one of our side objectives as to pose, because you can't, the amount of people that frustrates me, well, it's full of Republicans, how come we can't get gun bills passed? And my response is because it's full of Republicans. We need conservative constitutionalists. We don't need someone that was a Democrat last week, last month, last year, slapped an R on their name, stuck it beside there, and going there. And we've got a couple of those that are taking place. In fact, while I'm on that, let's just go to that. Okay. Oops, it's right there. In Tulsa. And like I say, the state Senate of Oklahoma, who's where we have had the most problems on getting your rights returned back to you. It's just, we're the state Senate, so we're going to control everything going here. Well, then I guess we need to get some people so we can get this stuff done, fixed, and get it, and so we don't have to make this barn-burning effort that we're doing every time. So let me do this. In Tulsa, Cheryl Baber, OK2A has endorsed Cheryl Baber for Senate District 35. This is very important because she's writing a guy named Kaiden Creekpalm for Senate District 35, who says he's a Republican, has not returned a survey to OK2A or the NRA. That should be just a big old red flag. Also, would you like to know something? Because I'm going to tell you. He happens to work for a law firm that worked against your constitutional rights, so you couldn't carry a gun into the gathering place. Follow the money, folks. Follow the money. Don't be fooled. Cheryl Baber is an excellent, excellent choice for Senate District 35. And I'm telling you, so when you guys come back and, why can't we get anything passed? Because you didn't vote and send the right people to the right job. It's just that simple. Send Cheryl Baber to that spot. All right? Also, that's not till November. Senator Paul Scott in Lawton, down by Duncan. Senate District 43, he's been endorsed both. This is an A-plus guy. He's been great on our gun bills. He's great to work with. Folks, we've got to return him back there. In fact, he only needed 24 votes, or he wouldn't even have had to be the second election. So we got to make sure, let's get Senator Scott sent back there, an A-plus rated senator for that spot. Now also, let's go back up here. Senate District 5, Justin Jackson is also endorsed. That's way down there south. It's Senator Silk's seat who was there. A guy running against him returned a survey to OK2A and got a C- on it. And I'm not out to beat anybody up at this point, but I'm just telling you, Justin Jackson's the best guy. So don't send the wrong people up here and expect us to fix it. Don't do that. Let's get the right people in there. Can anybody handle that? Let's get the right people in to begin with. Okay, that's what we're going to deal with for at the moment on that. Let me see if I've got any house seats that are on that same kind of a deal there. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here and do something tonight. We're going to do an endorsement that they don't even know about yet. You guys ready for this? As soon as I find it. See, this is what happens when you stay this busy. Okay. House District. Let me make my notes so I can make sure I put this on there. House District 96. Anybody know where that is? Anybody here in House District 96? That's you!
No, I'm 60. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're so close.
Yeah, it was.
So close. I mean, it was just right there. There's House District 96 that are watching here tonight, I assure you. Right now, it is currently held by Lewis Moore, who has been a rock star for your Second Amendment rights and your conservative right down the line. Done very good. That is your guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you're right the first time.
Yeah, but I'm dumb.
Okay.
Jeez.
No, because you're going to vote for the right person here in a second. So I'm telling you, it's important that we continue to get the right people in there. And there is a lady by the name of Margaret Best. Margaret Best, who is running for this. She's a registered nurse. She's also a realtor. From what I understand and can tell, this is a strong constitutionalist. and I'm ready and willing to work with her to take that seat because we have to fill good constitutionalists with good constitutionalists. You can't slip. Those are the ones you definitely can't slip. So tonight I am announcing that Margaret Best is endorsed. Write that down. Tattoo it in your forehead. Is endorsed for House District 96. Send the right people up there. We're telling you, I'm not telling you other people are bad. I'm just telling you this is who we think is the right people. All right? So we're working that too. Okay, any questions on that? And I'm just dealing with the August runoffs. We'll talk about the November stuff. We'll have months to do that with. All right, so don't anybody panic on that. Any questions? Any questions online?
About OKC Ward 3, Trey Bishop. It's from Charles.
Oh, Ward 3. So it's a city council seat?
I would presume so, yes, sir.
Then I don't have that information. I apologize. That's one I don't have. So we'll have to move on from that. But that's what we've got.
That's it.
All right. Okay. Well, sometimes it just happens. Stuff just works out. Okay. Maybe you guys heard there's a virus.
China.
In fact, maybe you heard that at our last meeting, and we're going to call everything BC, before COVID. And after COVID, you kind of you've got that perspective on where we're at. Well, we're already working with legislation with leaders in the House and the Senate to make sure that it is clarified that wearing a mask and carrying a firearm is perfectly legal. It is now. It just needs to be cleaned up the way the language is. So it's just much more understandable. The second part is basically is that if a business, any portion of a business is considered essential, the whole business is essential. So we don't have to watch this stupid crap like it. You can walk into Walmart, you can buy ammo, but you can't buy, other supplies off the shelf next to it. It's just stupid stuff like that. You can buy food, but you can't buy tennis shoes. That kind of stuff is it's ludicrous. If you're in the store, you're in the store. The people are in the store, so on. So that's one of it. Also, even more important than that, we're going to clarify perfectly clear, without a doubt, a place of worship is an essential business, and it shall not be shut down. I want to thank Governor Stitt for holding back making this mandatory, because the states that have made it mandatory have had the most problems with it. So it's kind of like the gun thing. You can't have guns, and they got the most problems there. Which, by the way, California, you guys see that ruling, magazines over
10 rounds.
They call them high capacity. I call that normal.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I own one that's less than that. So anyway, that's on a brief hiatus. I'm sure that it'll continue to be appealed and go to somewhere else. But at least, folks, you guys some people get as mad as they want. But the reason that decision is upheld like it was is because Trump changed out those judges. That's so. If you don't think, well, he doesn't do this and that, well, okay, but look at all the peripheral stuff that's being taken care of that is an absolute necessity. All right? So just keep that in the back of your mind there, especially as we get closer to November, because I know some of you guys are just, gosh, should I go for Joe Biden? Should I go? Should I go? Should I go for Uncle Joe? So. Oh, by the way, that was a joke. People aren't laughing back there. Whew. Okay.
Tough room.
Tough room, tough life. Yeah. No kidding. Okay, so that's one of the things we've been working on. Also, you think nothing else goes on during the summer? This is about 25 pages of a bill that is being prepared for next year, for next session. Would you like to know what it involves?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to give you the big gist of it first. You ready? Right now, under current law, inside your home, you have the right to expect absolute safety. It's called the Castle Doctrine, and it's very good. It was brought in Oklahoma over 20 years ago, maybe 25. And that is inside the structure of your home. What this bill is going to do is it's going to take that imaginary line, those walls of your home, and it's going to take it all the way to the edge of your property. That's right. Because we're going to cut this crap out that you think you can just be a thug and start walking down the street and start knocking windows, cars, and that stuff. And folks, you're going to have guns pointed at you, and it's going to be perfectly legal because we're going to defend our own property because you're shortcutting the police. You're getting rid of the police. We have to be able to stand up and be able to do what we should have been doing a long time for 100 years anyway. This is absolutely insane. We cannot defend our property. So if you don't notice, I take it kind of personal because I own property. I'd like to keep it. And I actually talked to a guy, and it's been a number of years ago, maybe about 10 years ago. And the guy lived out in Yukon or Mustang. He owned his own heating and air business. And he pulls his truck up. He's got a unit on it. And he says, you know what? I've got about $100,000, that truck, the stuff that's on it, the equipment to go do a job the next morning. He goes out the next morning and it's gone, stolen. And he saw, let me back up. He saw it being driven off as he looked out the window, knowing full well there was nothing he could physically do. Even if he could have gone out there with a firearm to stop them, he couldn't do it. And this is the way I've looked at it. 100 years ago, you steal somebody's horse, what was the punishment?
You were hanged.
You were hanged. Because that horse was a part of not only your livelihood, your very safety and living. There is nothing different than that vehicle. You should be able to defend your vehicle, your property. Now, folks, don't go thinking you're just going to walk out and start waving guns at anybody, and don't go thinking you're going to waste in the Girl Scouts because they show up on your porch knocking on your door. This is clarified. This is for an immediate threat to your life. And an immediate threat can also be, I'm scared what is going on. There's 3 people walking up to my house. They don't look like they have any business here. They're not the UPS guy or anything like that. This will justify you being able to present a firearm. Doesn't mean you're necessarily pointing it, but you can present one. Right now, if you present one in Oklahoma law, you got problems. And brandishing is not defined in Oklahoma other than the court system. Yes, sir.
This would be similar to what happened in St. Louis
Oh,
with the people there.
was that a big deal?
A small, yes.
Yeah, St. Louis was a great example of this. I won't stand here and tell you what those 2 family members did was picture perfect. I will tell you they defended their property and they were successful. They still tore up the gates out there at the front of it, which was still, to me, you should be able to defend your gates too. That's your property. So this is, like I say, this is something that's been needing to happen for a long time. And Oklahoma is classic like anything else. We don't fix something till it's broke. Well, folks, it's about broke, because I know of a person that has a business downtown Oklahoma City. The rioters, and I'm not calling them protesters. Protesters are people that are peaceful. Rioters are the ones that are doing the damage. And so the rioters were within blocks of this business, and to have to sit out there with an AR-15 wondering if you're going to have to use it for one, but 2, will I go to jail just because I'm trying to keep someone from my property? And basically, under current Oklahoma law, got the Molotov cocktail and you got the lighter. Can't shoot them yet. They're lighting it. Can't shoot them yet. Now you can shoot them. That's stupid. That's stupid. They shouldn't even be near your property. You should be able to handle that threat before that ever gets there. And folks, let me tell you something. This is how they do it in Texas.
You bet.
Texas, you can defend third party. We'll get there someday. But right now, I want to make sure you can defend your property without a DA thinking that he needs to override or she needs to override your thought of understanding where you were at that very moment in your own yard or in front of your own business to protect and defend it. This bill right here goes in and specifically is going to address those types of issues. So this is something you think, well, you don't just throw this together 10 minutes before it's time to introduce the bill. This
Who's
is
sponsoring that bill?
I don't have one on it yet. I've talked to a couple of people. We won't have a problem getting sponsors on it or on this at all. So,
What's the name of the bill?
I'm sorry.
The name of the bill?
We're going to call it defensive display of private property. Something along that line. And oh yeah, we'll keep you well informed because this is going to be pretty monumental. It's a concept. It's basically like the concept in 2012 with open carry. There's going to be legislators like, oh my gosh, people may be pointing guns at each other. Yeah, defending their own property. Yeah, exactly. It may happen. So the cops won't have to do it. You know, and if you guys are defunding them, this is all the more reason that people need to be able to protect and defend themselves. Which is why the Second Amendment exists. One of several reasons. But the tyranny can be right next door, not be government specifically related, as we have seen. We can see where George Soros is, funding money to it and going from there. All right, so any questions on that?
Don, is that one that you would want supporters at the Capitol when that's being heard?
Every bit of it. That'll be correct.
Okay.
If we do it right, you will be notifying your legislators, hey, this is the bill number, we want it, and if you get a positive result, you don't necessarily need to be up there beating their doors back with them. But again, you need to have that interaction. We're going to have new legislators coming in, especially in Senate District 3. There's still going to be a general election. Senator Shaw was defeated. Yeah. And it's kind of funny. I got, and I'm not going to name any names. I got a call from one senator who was upset with me for that defeat. And now my question to him was, well, what do we do when they won't honor the Constitution, when they'll say these things? How do we remedy it? Well, I know. And basically, I get this. A buddy got beat, someone they respected and worked with. I understand that. But I got a lot of messages. I say a lot. I got 7, 8 messages from legislators saying, good, because he's messed up our stuff. We need stuff to go. So I'm not going to sit here and do a big dance on that, but I'm letting you know this is how it's supposed to work. Either they do the job or they get fired.
Amen.
Right? Just like Norman. Yes, sir.
Let them know why Shaw was.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Representative Shaw, or Senator Shaw, had there was 8 bills in his possession. He was a public safety chair for the Senate. He refused to hear any of those. Also, any bill, because of the COVID, that came from the House, it bypassed the Senate committee and went straight to the floor, which is fine. But the problem was the Senate chair could still decide whether that bill would be heard or not. And so none of those bills were heard. So respectfully, I assume he made sure that those weren't heard. And so, folks, we would have already addressed some of these private property rights last year, but he stopped it. And again, I've told you guys 100 times, I've told you 1,000 times, Republicans are the problem. That's it. And let me tell you something too, sidebar, Your Honor. We also have endorsed Terry Neese, which her and Stephanie Bice are in a debate or forum tonight. Folks, don't let, if you wait till 2 weeks or 3 weeks before an election to make up your mind, that's not a good idea. You need to be informed before that. Terry Neese has been to these meetings. She is a member of OK2A. She has an A on the survey. I tell you what, I fully enjoy being able to make a phone call or a text, and I've known her for quite a while because she's been professional. I just met her professionally. But you can get a response. For 6 years, Stephanie Bice has been in that state senate, and to get a response back from her or her staff is nearly impossible. So if a person is going to be that difficult right here in the state senate in your backyard, how much respect or notification are you going to get when they're 1,300 miles away in Washington, D.C.? So again, I don't want to make this a big anti-anybody, but here's the other problem we're looking at, folks. That primary, the Republicans, all those votes tallied 68,000. Kendra Horn by herself got 70,000. Republicans are the problem. If Kendra Horn is not beat in November, it's no one to blame but Republicans, and you're the Republicans. You got to get out. You can't just come back and, we've got this wrapped up. Oh, Trump. No, you still have to get out there and vote. You still have to. And it's always, let me say, who here likes, you're watching election night, oh yeah, I voted for that guy or I voted for that gal and they win. Feels good.
Yeah.
You did something. You contributed. Even if they won by a whole lot, or sometimes when they just come in there by a hair, you contributed. Well, folks, get that feeling. I mean, that is a patriotic, you have the right, you have the responsibility, use it. Use it responsibly. So again, like I say, that's what we're talking about here. Terry Neese is endorsed by OK2A, and I request that you guys do your best to vote for in that election.
Can you elaborate more about that information that was going around about her?
How can you talk when you're muffled? I can't understand you.
Yeah, you can understand.
China, you got that China face.
So, about her, the gunbuster sign on her.
Oh yeah, thank you very much.
And the
Yeah,
website.
the Terry Neese thing, and I actually drove up to Neese personnel and took a picture of the door, which does not have any gun sign on it. Also, I was informed that their personnel book does not have an anti-gun carry in it, even for the employees. Now, here's the other part of this. Terry Neese has not owned that business in 14 years. How can you hold someone responsible and come out and say that they're anti-gun when, I mean, Terry Neese packs a gun. She carries a gun. So I don't see this at all. And for someone to come out and make that statement, I find not useful. And I'll to be up front too. There's an ad that's being run against BICE that says that BICE voted to make her own pay raise, and that you can't. There's no physical legal way that can happen. I don't like that either. I don't like that either. So, and I'm just telling you what I know and as accurate as I can. And I'm not about to tell you anybody here's got a perfect halo with no dings in it. I'm not about to tell you that at all. What, your halo's got dings? Yeah, Josh is back there doing halo dings. Okay. I mean, you get the halo ding thing, right? A halo is, okay. Okay. It is tough tonight, isn't it? You guys you've been away so long, you forgot, oh yeah, this is supposed to be kind of a nice place to be.
This is an online question from Rebecca. She wants to know if is there endorsement for sheriff for Oklahoma County and CD5. I'm not for sure what CD5 is.
CD5 is the Neese race.
Okay.
That's Neese and
OK2A endorse Tommy Johnson for Oklahoma County Sheriff.
Yeah.
We also endorse Tommy Johnson, returned a survey, looks great. PD Taylor was sent a survey, did not return it. Folks, we're just not endorsing people that won't return a survey because they got something to hide. They're hiding something. And we find that consistent with that. Did I answer that whole question?
Hey, Don.
Also, Adkins of...
Johnson's got a YouTube video where he talks about his support of open carry, constitutional carry, and the Second Amendment. It's excellent. You can find it on YouTube.
So Johnson has a YouTube video of his support for the Second Amendment. Thank you very much. I would hoped he could have showed up here, but you know these guys are campaigning like crazy, and sometimes you can catch them, sometimes you can't. You're reading. I can tell he's winding up and reading one here.
Yeah, it's from Rod Cleveland.
Rod Cleveland.
Yeah, he's just making a statement about asking for help from Kevin West and J.J. Humphreys about Antifa in Oklahoma and in our public schools, including the husband of Norman's mayor, who has all kinds of Antifa artifact propaganda on Facebook. And so asking people to contact legislators for information and those things.
Okay, I'm not sure if that's
There's not a question.
okay.
It's just a long statement, but that's what it was.
Okay, well, let's tell Rod. Hey, Rod, Representative Bobby Cleveland, he asked a lot better questions than that. So we would like to know. We would like to know where the former most sexist legislator ever is. He's not here tonight, and we're having to get funneled. But obviously, anyone supporting any type of Antifa, red flag, black flag, what flag you want to call that, would definitely be an issue of concern. But again, this is why we're trying to help you keep informed on who to. The Norman recall, let's go for it. Now, I don't know for sure, and you weren't completely sure on how this is going to continue to follow out, but folks, just let's don't be like Virginia. Norman is like the state of Virginia. It's in a bad way, and you don't wait. Let's wait until things are broke. Let's just keep things mended and keep things moving along.
State preemption is the only thing that's saving us right now.
Thank you very much. The state preemption is exactly right. That's why it's so important, and OK2A has worked to maintain the state preemption, which means all gun laws are preempted by the state legislature. That way, each municipality cannot go around making their own gun laws, because you could be perfectly fine, and next thing you know, you're committing a felony just by driving through an area or whatever. And that's absolutely crazy. And if it hadn't been for state preemption, because I know at first there was a whisper of Norman going to ban guns during the time, and we're like, no, that's not going to happen. And it just squelched itself. Well, this was kind of easy. But then you got Lawton, Oklahoma. You got, oh God, what's my list? Tulsa. All these thinking they're going to ban guns, and like, no. This is why we have the state preemption, and we also even says in the emergency powers that guns cannot be banned. Which, by the way, that was passed back in 2000, I think, 13 or 14, and we requested the amendment to it. And T.W. Shannon, great guy, he let us amend the bill to where it would say, oh, by the way, if they violate you, you can go sue them, you can sue their supervisor, and you can sue the agency, and you can sue them out of existence. Because that's where you get these people, you get in their pockets, that's where you get their attention. Just like when a cop does you when you're speeding. Yes, sir.
I understand that they got the signatures necessary to recall.
20,500, and they needed
For
18,000.
an election or to actually recall?
Recall.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how the recall procedure is going to work at this time. So it goes in front of a judge, I think, and who knows what happens after that. So, but again, you got to get the ball rolling. Yes, sir.
Recall the mayor?
Yes.
3 of
in the
them.
city or?
Two city councils.
The mayor, 2 city councilors.
And you're also working on recall for
Right.
the mayor.
So I think it's easier to fire them at election time or not even put them up. But that's where we're at with
I
that.
think this is a strong message, though. this
Again,
recall.
if Republicans would have been out to prevent them from getting voted in, they wouldn't be going through this to begin with.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's right.
Exactly.
vote.
What time are we at, Kendall?
2 after.
Okay. Okay. Also as a reminder, we won the state Supreme Court action. We won that to make sure to keep off the ballot because it's so misleading to the repeal of constitutional carry. It was OK2A working and doing that. So we were there handling that for you too. All right. Also, while you're off in your nice little COVID koozie couple stuff, we were also dealt with, and I'm proud of one of our coordinators, is John Maples, is our Osage County coordinator. He sees the Osage Hills State Park, and they've got the no gun sign out there on it. He goes, well, that's not right. And so he, on his own initiative, and I'm proud of him because everyone here can do exactly this. You don't have to wait for me to do it. He sends a letter to the Department of Tourism and says, hey, this has got the no gun sign up on it. That's not right. Department of Tourism sends a letter back, says, yes, it is. Don't take your guns in there. Puts in a copy of the law. The only problem was the law didn't have the next paragraph. Ooh, don't you hate it when they leave something out? So here and so he gets me involved. He gets Vice President James Miller involved in this, and says, "What is this? How is it they can pull this?" I said, "Okay, here's what you do. You just stay back and watch. We'll show you what happens here." So, and this happened on a Friday. Monday morning, I sent an email, said, "This is a violation of state law." I put it in there. I said, "You didn't follow up with the next paragraph. And by the way, here is the state preemption that if you violate it, the action can be against you, it can be against your supervisor, it can be against the agency, and against the state. Within 24 hours, yes, you're correct, we'll be taking that down." So that's OK2A working for you while you guys are out goofing off on your little COVID fun stuff. All right?
Sitting in my basement.
Yeah.
watching TV.
No, reminder, speaking of state preemption with draconian mayors and city council.
Oh, I'm getting there.
Tell.
Yeah, we're going to go there. Now, I'm intentionally, huh?
About Lawton Academy.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's you're right. It's been a while since we've discussed that. Lawton Academy, Lawton, Oklahoma decided that they were going to shut gun sales down. And this should let you know how important OK2A has become. I got a call from the vice president of Academy.
Really?
He didn't say we need help, but they needed help. He said, "This is what's going on." And so I said, "Yeah, this is the violation." I sent him the law. And so I sent them the law. And we made a direct appeal to the Lawton City Council. And the City Council did such a great job that they had the assistant city manager call me. The mayor didn't call me. The city manager didn't call me. They had the assistant city manager call me, and I tried to keep the conversation polite, but basically by the end of the conversation I said, "Okay, look, buddy, I'll just make it real clear for you. We're going to come and sue you. You're going to come into compliance, and it's going to cost you money. So you're going to come into compliance. You're in violation of the law. Address it immediately, or we're going to fix it, and it's going to cost you. But the city academy is going to be open more." So their thing was, okay, they can be open, but all they can do is sell guns and ammo. These are the little Nazi things that's going on. You think Lawton's or you think Norman's a problem? No, Lawton's is standing up there too. Now, all that to say, and I'm going to tell you this town at the end of what I'm talking about, not at the beginning. So don't say, "Where's it at? Where's it at?" Because I'm going to tell you at the end. Okay, I'll tell you at the end. Anyone ever heard of 4th of July, Independence Day? What? Real quick. What does that have to do with this country? Just a real brief, one sentence. Everything. Yeah.
Yes.
That was a one-word sum up. She's absolutely right. So you have Independence Day. And like a lot of towns, they have an Independence Day in their public park. Sounds like a good idea. Let's bring out the burgers, the hot dogs, the ice cream, and all that stuff. Right. So, and then the fireworks come out that night, which is what's getting ready to transpire in this town I'm getting ready to tell you. Well, there was a gentleman there peacefully carrying a concealed handgun. His jacket blows up and shows that he's got a handgun. Well, okay, this should not be a big deal, right? Anyone here would think, well, this is what happened because it's discovered or noticed. So the city manager of this town goes over to two police officers and tells them to remove this man from this public park on Independence Day. Everybody's good with this, right? I don't hear any amens or nothing. Yeah. So, on top of the insult, this gentleman, because obviously he doesn't want to get arrested, he says, "Okay, I'll leave." They walk him out. He says, "Can I just put my gun in the car and come back in?" And they said, "No, you can't return." This is a violation of also the First Amendment of freedom to assemble, freedom of speech. on Independence Day. Now, and I'm kind of getting a little bit ahead of myself, I actually get a call because I had sent out an email to the people involved in this, and I also, as we always do, we copy that county sheriff to let that county sheriff know your citizens in your community are being violated, civil rights are being violated. That sheriff calls me back. He goes, I had 2 deputies there. They saw this. They were so embarrassed they left. Now, on the surface, I'm going to say, okay, that sounds fair. Because they probably didn't have any better instruction than what they were seeing other than, man, I am not going to be a part of this lawsuit at all. So I'll give them credit for that. But also the sheriff of that county informed me that they got some problems. I'm thinking, well, I already figured it out. If they're escorting people out of an Independence Day event who's peacefully carrying basically a concealed gun for all practical reasons. So I built the email, same thing, stating, okay, we did our homework. We found out who the mayor was. We found out the city manager and all this stuff was, and was chief of police and the sheriff. And I sent out an email with all these people in it. This is the violation. And here's what we've done, folks. We're not asking them to admit fault. All we're trying to do is establish that no such violation would ever take place in the future. That's all we're asking. So, one email goes, no response. A week goes by. Second email goes, one of the members acknowledged that they've actually received it. Okay, that's fine. And so, since then, like I say, we're looking at getting to this a lot deeper. And I'll tell you, folks, we're going to be ready, because when I call for a rally, I expect you to be there, because we're going to go to Fairview, Oklahoma, and have a rally in that park where they say we can't be there with guns. And the county sheriff, major county sheriff, he's going to be there right there with us, because he's right on our side, while the chief of police, who's the guy that actually escorted him out of there, he can just kiss our butts. You think we're going to be ignored? You got something to learn. I'm telling you, we're not going to be ignored. We weren't ignored. We won in the state Supreme Court. We have won in Norman, Oklahoma, and they tried to ban guns in a city park. We won there too. So you think you guys can ignore us, stick your head in the sand, and think this is going to go away? You are greatly mistaken, and even at your own cost. So now, the guy that's the chief of police wasn't the chief of police at the time. He was actually now been appointed chief of police by the city council since this happened. That was his reward. The city manager, there is a new, and during this time they've had confusion, and they have a new mayor. So we will be sending a certified letter, and I'm also, sidebar here, Your Honor, we're also working with the Oklahoma Municipal League attorney to help they keep these people out of trouble. Say, folks, you can do this, you can't do that. We're working with them also to let them know, folks, we're not asking you to admit fault. We already know you screwed up. We know that. We just want to make sure this doesn't happen again. Mm-hmm. And we're not going to be ignored. It's not going to go away. If I'm willing to go out to a public zoo on your tax dollars that the thing is operated by, and watch and wait for police to escort me out and make a huge mistake on how wrong they were, you think I got any heartburn about going to Fairview, Oklahoma? And taking you guys with me. I'm not talking, it won't be 5, 10, 20 of us. I'm talking, we're going to pack the park. All right, we're going to pack the park. And if they try to tell us, well, you don't have a permit to be there that day, okay, we're going to have it in front of the police station, right in front of the city council building. You can't stop us there, that's for sure. So anyway, folks, just be ready. I hope these people come to their senses and say, look, we'll make an effort to make sure this doesn't happen again. And I'll say, good, thank you. That's all we're asking. But don't you think you're going to screw us over and tear up our rights and think we're going to just think that that's going to be walked away with. And oh, by the way, I got a call from this group's attorney. Fairview, like a lot of other little towns, has one attorney that represents them on issues. He gave me a call, and oh, by the way, yeah, this city manager, he's really a good guy and all this stuff. Oh, by the way, the guy that you're talking about, he was pulling his gun out and doing show and tell. Really? Well, here's the difference. I've actually talked to the guy that was walked out of there, and he assured me, along with a witness, that that never happened. There was no pulling a gun out of a holster for show and tell. But this attorney decides to tell me, he says, well, they're coming up with a police report. Really? This has been 3 weeks, and magically we now need a police report stating that this guy was pulling his gun out and doing show and tell and was asked to leave. Let's see the report. And I mentioned that in both emails. Let's see the report. Because, folks, it's fraud. They know it's fraud. Now, you guys have been around here. You know me long enough. I am not anti-cop. But I'm anti-idiot. These guys are idiots. This is idiot stuff, and they think we're going to sit around and do nothing about it. So, again, I'm going to have you, basically, this is going to be a muster call. We'll let you know where to report. Got it? Yes, sir.
We can open carry in that park?
Yes.
Come on. How long have you been in this group?
Not long enough, I guess.
You got a pulse, you carry a gun.
Yeah.
All right? Okay.
I got an AR pistol just like you do.
Sling it and let's go. Right. That's right. And like I say, and folks, we're going to make a party out of it. We're going to hamburgers, hot dogs. We're just going to shift Independence Day over to, whenever it's going to be. It's because you know what, OK2A, every day is Independence Day. So you can tell these things don't bother me much. But no, seriously, folks, why on earth? And I'm pointing at you. Why on earth do we go to all this trouble to get our rights back only for some peons think that they're going to be able to trample on them? I don't do it. I don't do it because, like I say, okay, so he can't. You don't want him in that park. There's going to be, a couple thousand of us in there, and we're going to come to your city. We're going to be polite. We're going to clean it up nicer than what we found it, because that's what we always do. Every time we have a rally, we pick up everything. Yep. And we're going to spend our money there. We're going to be polite to that town, and we're going to show you we're going to kill you with kindness. But until then, you guys better pay attention to us, because the fact is we could still move on to civil action if you guys don't acknowledge this. And just all we're asking, okay, we're going to make sure it doesn't happen again. That's all we need to hear. That's all we need to hear. But you think you're going to ignore us. I'm sorry? Comply. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just comply. Yeah, that's it. All right, any questions on that?
Hey, Don, can you get them to put a guns allowed sign there?
Guns allowed?
Yeah, tell them that's the only condition you have.
Guns allowed sign. God, that's so backwards thinking. That's really a good question. Can you have a guns allowed sign? How about this park is consistent with the Second Amendment? I think that would open carry zone or carry zone. Yeah, carry zone. Yeah, there you go. All right. So anyway, but that's on the list for that. Any questions on that? None. No heartburn with that? Even a little bit?
Well,
because you look like the kind of lady that could be pissed off real easy.
Yeah, that does piss me off.
Okay. Well, that's why we got you here. Make sure you're.
No heartburn with your reaction to it.
Well, it's not animated. It's real. Like I say, we've. And a lot of you guys know we even quit keeping count of all a bunch of small towns and small cities. They'll have a no gun park, no sign up in the park, and it may have been there for 30 years. And so we just send them a note, and they'll say, oh, okay. And most of the time it's just, yeah, okay. You may have to send them a second note. Only one time I've had to send certified letters to say, you better get it fixed, and that was Turner State Park. And they finally complied. So, because when they know certified letters are coming in, what's that tell you, folks? Yeah. I'm getting ready to crawl up your rear. Do an exam, yeah. So anyway, I wouldn't crawl up the rear. I shove it down their throat and break it off. So anyway. Okay, so any questions on that? Let me see what my notes are. Any other questions in there?
No, nothing online.
Nothing online? Okay. That was this month. On August the 5th, OK2A presented State Representative Jay Stegall and Oklahoma State Senator Nathan Dahm with Legislators of the Year award in their offices just after we had met with the governor. I think that's pretty stinking cool.
Yeah, I saw that.
And we'll have more pictures up of that. Now, with the governor, I should have probably brought one in with me, but we took a montage of constitutional carry, the front of the bill, and we put the Oklahoma seal on it. And then at the bottom of it, we took the final page where he signs it and dates it. We put that on there on the bottom of it. And then we had a second page that the dates that it went through there, because it went through there in the month of February. And we had this thing framed up real nice, and we presented it to him that day. And I'll do put some pictures up of that. But he was thrilled to death to see constitutional carry with his name right there on the top. His first bill he ever signed was constitutional carry. So that was presented to the governor on August the 5th, folks. That was a fun day to get that kind of stuff done. And like I say, also we're signing the nation's first. It was a ceremonial signing, but the nation's first anti-red flag bill, and we're still getting requests from other states and stuff. Hey, send us the language on that. Yeah, you got it. You need it. You got it. Because a lot of these states are realizing, we're messing some things around here pretty bad. So you had a question? Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Also, I'm working to try to get a meeting with Senator Inhofe with this red flag against the military bill that's in the Senate. My God, what are these people thinking?
Yeah.
So I can see it getting out of the House of Representatives because it's a bunch of socialist, crazy communists anyway. But why it does not need to be embraced by the states, by the U.S. Senate, and it has to be stopped. So yeah, you got a question way back there.
Well, a comment. I've called and emailed both senators and have not, on that issue and have not gotten a response from them.
Well, that's the problem with Senator Inhofe. That's Jim Inhofe that's running for November election. He's not getting back with people. I've requested, again, another meeting with him, and it's not taking place. This is one of the things I want to talk to him about. Corps of Engineer Properties. Hey, it's our property. Don't tell us we can't carry there unless you've got a real bona fide security reason why not. Post office, you should be able to carry your gun into the post office to get your mail, get your stuff, just like you are anywhere else. And like I say, where OK2A has our post office box is in the very building where 14 people were murdered. I think a person should be able to carry a gun in the post office. Who knows when something go again. So that was another one. And also people that are in the FAA and some other federal jobs should be able to leave their gun in their car while they're at the FAA. That is absolutely asinine that you can't do that. My gosh, if state employees can handle it, why can't the federal government people handle it? My gosh. So give me a time, Kendall. So
22.
Okay. So that's some of the things I want to discuss with him, and I've got a list of them. I've had this discussion with Senator Langford, and I agree with Senator Langford. It's kind of hard to get too excited when you've got the U.S. Congress in the condition it's in. Not going to be very apt to listen to it. But the thing is, we still need to be talking to Inhofe and letting him know this is a concern of ours. You get it into a Senate bill. We want some action moved on this. So, folks, we want our rights back. They should have never been taken away. I don't know what Constitution these people don't read, but shall not be infringed. It's pretty specific there. And the limitations, and there, folks, there are going to be limitations. Who here shall not be infringed? If I said your First Amendment right shall not be infringed, would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, but what happens if you go into a courtroom and you speak out of turn? What's going to happen? Yeah.
Contempt of court.
Contempt of court, right. So there's going to be some places where other rights are curtailed, but for a bona fide reason.
Yeah, that has
So-
to do with the sovereignty of the judiciary.
Right. And again, that's right. So there's going to be some of these places like that. And the fact is, can you imagine? Probably some of you guys could imagine this. Can you imagine being in divorce court and someone can carry guns? Would that not look like a shooting gallery at some point? Because there's no tension there, right?
Right.
I've never been through that myself because, quite simply, I'm too cheap. I'll get along with you, honey. You're great. Yeah, no problem. So, but again, there are areas who here will support prisoners carrying guns in jail. Really, what shall not be infringed? So, folks, there are some of these areas that it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. But again, there's so few. Outside of those areas, we should be so jealous if they even try to mess with it. But first, we got to get our rights back because they've been taken from us. Oklahoma ignores the Constitution terribly. Yes, sir.
Don't you live in Logan County?
I live in Logan County. Yes, sir.
Same here. Yeah, I was happy to see the county commissioners of Logan County and the sheriff declared it a sanctuary Second Amendment county.
You were happy to see that?
Yeah.
You're welcome. In all fairness, the sheriff, Devereaux, great guy. Probably shouldn't tell him that.
He is a great guy. Yeah.
Hey, Devereaux, it's not true. You're not a great guy. It was his idea to lead with that.
Awesome.
And also being the first county in the state to do that was consistent with, because the county commissioners in Logan County also voted so employees could carry while on the job.
Nice.
So the term tip of the spear, which is pretty accurate, comes out of Logan County. I'm glad to be a part of that. I'm tired of people saying, hey, come move to our county. come move to Cleveland County. No. We're fine. We're fine right where we're at. So anyway, also while we're here, before I forget,
25.
Eric, stand up real quick. Yeah, what district you're running for?
For House District 83.
You bet. Stand up. I just went blank on your name. Bill.
Wilmington, House District 85, running against a super well-financed incumbent, super left-wing liberal lady.
We have those here. We must have those imported for some reason. So anyway, all right. Is there any questions? Any questions here? Laws, gun bills. Oh. Let me do this real quick. Just in case this goes. Oh, here we go. All right. Okay. Because there's been an issue with this. Am I committing a felony?
Negative. No.
No.
I've got a gun on me.
No.
My God, am I committing a misdemeanor?
No.
Okay, because this has been one of the biggest hoaxes pulled upon people, and people in the discussion group. I know you get tired of it, hearing it and seeing it, but the question just keeps coming up over and over. Is it a felony to wear a mask and carry a gun? The answer is, it's not even just no, it's hell no. It's not. The Oklahoma law does need to be cleaned up. We've got a bill, I've already got it written, that clarifies that a person can have the mask on for business purposes, like if you're a sheetrock guy, or if you're a nurse or doctor and you're carrying a gun, it's perfect and it's perfectly legal. And actually, the firearm has nothing to do with the mask according to the law we have now. So we're going to clarify that just so it's absolutely clear. But my gosh, if someone says you can't carry a gun, it's a felony if you got a mask on. Well, if you're robbing a bank, yes. Oh, by the way, I'm going to make sure don't rob banks. I don't know if your parents ever told you that. All right,
It might be a felony.
it might be. It might be. You can meet some new people, have some new friends as a result of that. Okay, but so that's one of the things that's going on. And like I say, also, let me clarify too. The question keeps coming up, carrying a loaded gun in your car. Yes, you can have a loaded pistol in your car if you can legally own a firearm and you're 21 years of age. The shotgun or rifle can be magazine loaded, cannot be chamber loaded. If you don't know what that means, don't have any bullets in your gun at all carrying your car. So there's no mistake. We've already got the bill written for next year. The bill written for next year to address. So you carry the same way you carry a gun outside the car is the same way you can carry it inside the car. Because what do we do at OK2A? We take the stupid out of gun laws.
That's right.
Because under current law, an officer can't even look at that gun unless he can articulate you've committed a crime. So what's the point? So anyway, but these laws we have, they've been so draconian and screwed up. You have to fix them in pieces. You can't just do this whole thing over because the legislature would freak out because it's a gun bill.
One question online from AJ wants to know how a bill allowing municipal employees to carry. How's it going?
It will be reintroduced. The Senator Shaw killed that also, bill, in the ones that he killed. So it will be reintroduced. It will still be at the approval of a city council, but we'll have long-term plans to make sure that every person can carry at their own discretion and not at the discretion of government. So, but anyway, this is a step to get there. 7:30? Okay. Okay, Mom, at 7:30, you can probably go to bed now. All right? All right. Any other questions? None? Yes, sir.
When you endorse an individual for an office publicly, is it just based on the survey you talked about, or does anybody in the organization actually go out and
No.
research the individual?
It's since OK2A is a super PAC, we cannot work with a candidate or a campaign. So it's a fine line what we can and cannot do. We send that, we mail out or email out both the survey. They send it back. Sometimes they'll have a question. I will take questions on the survey. I will not be taking questions on what they need to do with their race or how to do their race, things like that. So it's a fine line. That happens ever so often. I'll have candidates contact me, hey, can you help me do this, this, and this? And the answer goes back every time, no, we are a super PAC. We don't work with a candidate or a campaign. And that's the same thing. So what I'm getting, sorry, just a second. What I'm getting to is I work with people that I've watched around them. If we're someone we don't know. There's people, I'll check with the local county Republican Party. I'll check with people that are in our coordinators or county coordinators. We're getting so many going, I don't even know how many we have right now. We're having local people, you tell us about this person. They'll contact me. So I'm not working directly with that candidate. I'm doing everything I can to find out. And basically, this is kind of what happened when I endorsed Margaret Best tonight. I've been able to talk with people that have worked around her where we feel confident that she is a constitutionalist. Also, what's great is you can pull up someone's Facebook page. You don't look and see what they've done last month. You can go back for years, and holy cow, this person's a patriot across the board. It's not like a new concept that they just threw it up there. Oh, it's election time. Let's just look real good right now. So I agree. Now, OK2A, keep in mind, for the years that we've done surveys, this year was the first time we ever physically published the survey. And that was because Daniel Pay, representative, said that he would support constitutional carry, and he didn't. So we published it because there was someone running against him. We did not work with that candidate working against him. We just published it. We took a survey from them. They had an A survey. We'll go. But again, that's the only time we've ever gone back on a candidate that we have taken a survey from. So we've done pretty good. Will it happen? Yeah, there's going to be someone. I mean, hey folks, I hate to send you to church here, but even Jesus, among his own close 12 friends, one of them betrayed him. Yeah. So you don't think we're going to get betrayed at some point? It's going to happen. But what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we're going to call them on it. Call them on it or get rid of them. Because, folks, I'm jealous of the threat against our Constitution. It's just not. I don't want it. We're not going to put up with it.
Tell them what happened with Pays.
Now, Pays, I don't know what this one is.
Down in Lawn, meeting in Lawn.
Well, I don't want to go back that far. Since we had that meeting, Mr. Pay never voted against a gun bill. I'll give him credit for that. But again, if these people if they think that they can just show up back at their districts, oh yeah, I've supported all those bills, and when we're saying, no, you didn't. And sometimes I've actually heard legislators getting their phones texted 10 minutes after a vote because they voted against the bill. Because their district, we've already put it up there, we've already shown what it is. People say, oh, my guy voted against it. They're already calling their guy before they ever get off the floor.
The way it should be.
That's the way it should be. Actually, the way it should be is constitutional or not constitutional. That should all be based on that first. That's the very first question. Every bill laid in front of them, is this constitutional?
Can we afford it?
Yep. Well, get on down usually, but that's the first test. Any questions on that? Who came here the farthest? Who's the new people? You're new guy? New people? New two people? Okay.
The farthest.
Who needs a one of a kind OK2A mask? You'll take that? You'll take that? You mask wearer?
New or used?
Oh, this that one's mine. This is the new one. Take it back again. Thank you.
I'll put it in the autoclave.
Came from China.
All right, from China. Did everybody get a doodad?
Yes, thank you.
No. Oh, obviously we don't like you. Okay. I'm not going to throw it. Come up and get one, okay?
Will do.
All right. All right. So this is what I've been working on for next session, folks.
Is it 38 pages?
No, this is several different bills and concepts. Most of them are redos since the Senate killed so much of our stuff this last year. Also, U.S. Law Shield's in the House. Woo-hoo! I want to make sure, folks, I'm still getting this about every 2 or 3 weeks. Someone will call, hey, this happened to me, will you guys help me? No. Get U.S. Law Shield. That's who your representative is. That's who's going to help you. You got to have it. If you carry a gun, you better carry U.S. Law Shield. You got to have that in your pocket, ready to go. And the main thing is, the one thing you do is you call U.S. Law Shield and you keep your mouth shut, closed. I'm not being disrespectful to law enforcement because they do the same thing when they've been involved in a self-defense act. Except theirs is mandatory. Yours is all upon yourself. It's on you to maintain that Fifth Amendment yourself. So U.S. Law Shield here, like I say, folks, you have to have it. You got to have something. Have it. All right. And I even have the game warden coverage on it because I go hunting, and I think that I can even walk out my own yard, my own pasture, and could be accosted by a game warden who thinks that they can just come on our property. Which, oh, by the way, there's another bill. Did you see that thing in Tennessee? Yeah. Game wardens are putting trail cams on private property owners' stuff. And then the private property owner took it down, and they're facing charges.
It looked like a squirrel.
So we are looking to address this exact same issue in Oklahoma because we're OK2A. We are big on your private property rights. I would have to. The first thing I would think is, well, I'm thinking that's some bozo that's got it up there. So does that look like an AR pattern or a 12 gauge? That's the first thing I'm thinking. Yeah, you can come back and get the pieces of your stuff there. But to have, and they go by the open fields doctrine. In Oklahoma, they live and cling and die to it. And in 1924 was a court ruling, and even in the court ruling, it says we're going outside the realm of the Constitution. Because bootleggers was a problem, and that the revenuers needed to be able to get up on the bootleggers, and so that was what was considered then at the time the open fields doctrine to shut down bootlegging. And now that is being used because you may actually have a deer feeder in your yard. You may have a bird feeder in your yard. So yes, sir.
This is an online question. I believe this is from a guy named James. He wants to know if the lapel pins that look really sharp, if they're going to be available at the Tulsa meeting?
We're going to try to make them available at every meeting. So, and James, you'll have to share yours, though. Yes, sir.
Just to clarify.
Yes.
You said you didn't know how many counties we had now for OK2A. We're at 22.
We're at 20. Thank you, man. See, that's why U.S. Law Shield's in the house. They actually are informing at me. We have 22 counties now being represented with OK2A.
All right.
22.
Yeah.
And every little bit helps.
What's the membership? Do you know offhand or close?
$25 for a year.
No, the amount of people.
Oh, we don't give that information out.
Oh, okay.
We don't give that information out specifically because there was a game warden in Oklahoma that said he wanted our list of OK2A people. And I'm like, I don't think so. Nope, don't need it. Don't need it, won't give it out. So we specifically keep it quiet. We also we have a board of directors. There are 7 members on the board, including myself. I am not the chairman. Pastor Vineyard is the chairman. The board of directors reviews till the COVID thing, it was every 6 months. We do go over with the secretary every week balances that go on, and I'm actually glad you brought that up. You may have noticed we did some good in the last primary election, and a lot of that comes right out of your memberships, folks. We made thousands. I think it was around 22,000 phone calls we paid for to go into districts. We also had, in fact, we just some mailers that went out. All this stuff costs money. Like I said, the phone calls, also other social media boost and take care of things like that. It all costs money to pinpoint into some of these spots to get these people kept in there and elected in there. So you wonder where your money goes to, that's it. Also specifically where it goes to, I am the only person at OK2A that receives, and it's not a salary, basically I'm like an independent contractor. I receive a weekly check for making sure that this stuff continues, to keep an eye on our rights and to guard them, and also to be at the state capitol during session. Folks, it costs money.
Yes.
There's just nothing around. It costs money to defend your liberty. Freedom is not free is an understatement. And let me tell you something. Soros and Bloomberg, they're dumping millions of dollars in these states because they see the crack in the red dome because of Kendra Horn. They see that they can get socialism in here, and they can do it. And folks, the only way it's going to stop it is people like you supporting OK2A, making a phone call, making an email, showing up at a rally in Fairview, Oklahoma. This is how we keep this thing going. And to make it clear, I didn't start receiving any money until January of this year. So for 9 years, I did this at no charge. All right, so I am a registered lobbyist only because of the fact that the Oklahoma Ethics Commission requires it so. That's the only reason. Folks, I'm an activist. Just happen to be registered. That's it. And nothing's changed because, like I said, I see us moving this thing forward, and we're also working to set our structure up in OK2A to make sure that, if a chapter coordinator can't be there, we've got someone to help fill. If James Miller is the vice president of OK2A, in case something needs to take over, we've got someone to do that, because this machine has to keep rolling, this machine for defense for the state of Oklahoma. We're fortunate to be nationally recognized by several Second Amendment groups, and it's been great to be an honor to have for people to notice and do that. And like I said, we went to Jan Morgan. Well, great. Oh man, she's awesome. Arkansas presented us with the Second Amendment's women's group. It's a national group, and to get this. So folks, this stuff, it doesn't happen. So $25 a year, $5 a month. Anything that you can do in there. And like I said, I know times are tough because we've actually, some people have called and also written, I've lost my job, I've lost this, I can't do it right now. And we make sure we keep them on our membership even though they can't make any type of a contribution, because they can still make phone calls, they can still do emails, and some of this kind of stuff. Yeah, this kind of stuff. Do you have a question? Oh, I thought you had a question. So anyways, see, if you'd have been at the auction, you'd have bought something. Okay. So it's important to keep this going. And I hate having to stand here and act like a Sunday morning plastic TV preacher. But in fact, folks, that's gone. And we've been accused of trying to keep things secret. And here's the reason I'm going to tell you. Yes, we keep it secret so the enemy doesn't know what we're doing because we're in a freaking war here.
Right.
If you haven't noticed that they're wearing black stuff over their face, they're tearing up buildings and property and threatening and beating people. Yeah, we're at war here, folks. It is a war. And actually, I'll even go on deeper. It's a spiritual war. The problem is not, it's deep inside of man, evil heart that needs to be saved. So, there's my preaching for tonight until I go home. So any other questions?
Pass the plate.
You first-time people, thanks for being here. Amen. Make sure you wear that lapel pin out, and because you got something, not everybody else does. You got something. All right. So all right, Josh, thanks for being here tonight. Appreciate that. You got anything I need to close with?
Invite people in.
Yes, get your friends joined, not just the membership, OK2A, the main page, and also the discussion group. We need to grow that discussion group. And speaking of, on the way here tonight, we will not be putting up any more comments on the discussion group about Kamala Harris. We have got 3 pop-up things from Facebook saying, this is false, this is false, this is false. They did this to us a month or 2 ago on COVID stuff, so we quit putting COVID stuff up there. We're gonna go keep it back to as much laws and legislation and stuff like that. But like I say, Facebook is doing it. And actually, let me back up. F-book. F-book. He's still help him with that later, would you, Kendall? F-book is doing its normal stuff. I can tell that they try to slow our stuff down and complicate it, which is nothing new. You need you to be a member, need you to be on the email list, so if something does completely go haywire, we've got you on email. We can do that, all right? So meanwhile, till then, F-book, have a nice night. You guys on the watch, how many people we got watching? Did it say on there?
57 right now. We're at 82 early.
82 early? All right. Get your friends to watch, and we will keep you informed. See you at a meeting very soon. Have a good evening.
What are you waiting for? Come see me tonight.
Exactly. U.S. Law Shield in the house. Bill Robinson in the house.
Off, and anybody